Let's hit this straight on. Most leaders burn out because they force everything. They push too hard, control too much, and treat pressure like a badge of honor. Lao Tzu would look at that and say, "You're fighting the river instead of learning how to move with it." Welcome back to Historical Figure Deconstruction. Today, we're diving into Lao Tzu, the quiet thinker who reshaped leadership with one of the most misunderstood ideas in history. Wu Wei, also known as effortless action. And trust me, this is going to rewire the way you think about influence. Let's set the scene. Lao Tzu lived in a time when leaders ruled through force, fear, and endless commands. Everything was heavy, everything was political, and everyone wanted control. Lao Tzu took one look at the chaos and stepped in with a completely different point of view. The more you try to control everything, the less control you actually have. And here's the transition that matters. Instead of fighting for power, he studied how things naturally operate, and he realized something big. Nature doesn't force growth. Water doesn't force its way forward. Strength can be quiet, movement can be smooth, and progress can happen without intensity. This is where Wu Wei begins to make sense. Now let's clear this up because people often get this wrong. Wu Wei doesn't mean doing nothing. It means not doing the wrong things. It's not laziness, it's alignment. It's knowing when to act, how to act, and when to step back and let things work on their own. Here's the simplest version. Stop forcing outcomes. Start positioning yourself correctly. Think about it. You can't rush trust. You can't force creativity. You can't drag people toward passion. But you can create conditions where these things grow naturally. Lao Tzu teaches that great leaders don't push, they guide. They don't micromanage, they shape direction. They don't demand respect, they earn it by staying centered. Which brings us to where this becomes practical. Here's one of Lao Tzu's most powerful ideas. Nothing is softer than water, yet nothing can resist it. Water is flexible, but it's unstoppable. It takes the shape of whatever holds it. It flows around obstacles instead of slamming into them. It wears down mountains without raising its voice. This is leadership at its highest level. Instead of fighting to dominate the room, be like water. Stay adaptable. Move calmly around what blocks you. Create progress without tearing yourself apart. And here's the bridge into real life. If you're constantly frustrated, forcing decisions, or dragging people forward, Lao Tzu would say your approach, not your ability, is the problem. Let's talk about control, because this is where Wu Wei hits hard. The harder you try to force everything, the more tension you create. And tension kills flow. Modern translation? Micromanagement is the fastest way to shut down talent. Excess pressure destroys creativity. And overplanning suffocates momentum. Lao Tzu teaches that leadership is lighter than we make it. Here's the transition. You don't lose power by letting go. You create room for better outcomes. Try this today. Delegate one decision without hovering. Give someone space to approach the task their own way. Let a project unfold without choking it with constant updates. This is how you move from control to influence. All right, let's bring this down to earth. Here's how you apply Wu Wei without becoming passive. Respond, don't react. Slow down before you answer. A steady reply leads better than a fast emotional one. Create space for your team to think. Don't fill every silence. Don't rush every meeting. Let people process. Good insight needs breathing room. Set direction, not dozens of rules. Give the goal. Give the boundaries. Then step back and let your people handle the how. Remove friction instead of adding pressure. Fix broken tools. Clarify confusing expectations. Cut unnecessary steps. That is leadership without force. Trust timing. Lao Tzu believed that things grow best when they're not rushed. Your job is to create the right environment, then let results mature naturally. This is the sweet spot between calm and decisive. Modern leaders who prove Wu Wei works. 6-3, Satur 30. Let's make this real with two modern examples. Tim Cook, Apple. Cook doesn't lead like Steve Jobs. He's quieter, calmer, more structured. He empowers the right people, sets direction clearly, and doesn't force chaos. And what happened? Apple became the most valuable company on the planet. That's Wu Wei. Jacinda Ardern, New Zealand. Her leadership during crises was steady, empathetic, and calm. She didn't panic. She didn't push fear. She stayed centered, and the country followed. That's water in action. Here's your next move. Today, catch yourself in one moment where you're forcing something and step back. Tonight, slow down your thoughts and reflect before reacting. This week, remove 1 point of friction for your team instead of adding pressure. Because Lao Tzu taught something powerful. When you move with life instead of against it, things stop feeling like a fight. Next episode, we break down Sun Tzu and how strategy, timing, and clarity win more battles than strength ever will.